Now, hello.
Hello. Welcome to the Cancer Journey Show. I'm Carrie
I'm
Layton.
Sherry.
Who are you?
I'm Sherry and Tom.
And I'm Carrie Layton. And we are the Cancer Journey Institute. We are bringing you this show because what we want to demonstrate, give you an experience of what Cancer Journey coaching is. Because that's a question that people ask us all the time. What is Cancer Journey coaching? Is it therapy? Is it like counseling? And it has a lot of unique qualities to it. So we just figured the best way was to give you an experience. So you're going to see us coach April, and you'll find out about April. And do you know April's stats, her relationship?
Right, yes. April is a ovarian cancer survivor, and she falls into the realm of the young adult, which is so exciting for us because we don't have too many young adults in our cadre of coaches. April is also a trained Cancer Journey coach, but that doesn't mean anything. I mean, we are humans and we have our cancer journeys, and we also have chosen to want to continue that work by being Cancer Journey coaches. So she's still a real person, regardless of whether she knows our methodologies or not.
Yeah, so that's why we're excited. We're excited that someone with her experience and background has decided to join our team.
Mm-hmm.
And like Sherry Ann said, that's neither here nor there. She's still just a real client with her own issues and things. And what you might notice, and maybe if you've watched our show before, you'll notice that we're not always talking about cancer. In fact, most of the time we're not, because the idea is we're coaching the whole person. And even though you have a diagnosis, we tend to kind of give all our power away to the diagnosis, or our identity shifts. So we're helping you to remember that you are more than your disease.
Yes.
It's one of our pillars.
Yes. Yes. And cancer is a big deal. So we do have that in the equation. And even though we're survivors, and April is a survivor, cancer doesn't, it does disappear, but there is something called the shadow of cancer that just still is underlining and behind us. And if you too are a cancer survivor, you know exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
That the fear of recurrence is strong, whether it's, a headache or pain in the side that lasts just a little bit too long.
Yeah.
Now I'm going to go off track, but just to remind you, for those who join us often and for those who are new to the Cancer Journey Show, is that why we do what we do is because it's a huge passion and it is our life's work. But we're also the nation's first cancer coach training organization. We started training back in 2012, and currently we are the only approved cancer coach training organization by the International Coaching Federation. We love to say those because it's two, not credentials, but two, what's the word I'm looking for?
No.
Distinctions, yes, distinctions that we hold very dear to us, to ourselves. And we were sharing it with you by telling you. What else, Carrie? Before we start?
I think that's all we need to say before we coach April. Sherry Ann's going to be the coach today. And so we're going to have April come on, and then we'll talk about what happened in the coaching and see what happens from there.
Perfect. All right. So I'm going to bring April over. Come on over, April. All right. And hold tight, Carrie. I'm going to make you disappear. It's like a magic trick. Hi, April.
Hi, sorry, Sherry Ann.
I know
Carrie
we're
and Sherry Ann.
interchangeable.
Yeah,
Exactly.
right?
Exactly. So let's
Yeah.
start with Pesh.
Okay. Let's see. Physically, I'm a 9.5. Emotionally, 8.2. Spirit, 9.5. Hope is 10. And my word is energetic.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what do you want to be coached on for the next 20 minutes as I'm about to set my timer?
Yeah. So I think kind of top of mind for me right now is a very sensitive situation with my dad. He's 77 and he lives alone in California, and just I've been kind of going through waves of just deep emotion of just feeling really sad for him and where he's at with COVID, and how I don't get to see him very often. And the pandemic just feels like it's creating this giant wedge between us because I can't see him and I can't hug him. And it's just bringing me to this place of feeling a lot of fear of losing him.
No.
Yeah.
So, I mean, what came up for me while you were talking is isolation, but not just his isolation. It's almost like you're isolated from him, and that's making it feel like he's so far away that you can't really reach out and connect.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, we can talk on the phone, but it's like living in Colorado, I like can't just get on a plane and go to his house because there's a lot of cross contamination that could happen from me there from A to B. And yeah, it's not like if something happens, I can just rush over. I feel like I have to be in a astronaut suit or do a bunch of prep work in order to get there. And yeah, just a few days ago, my sister messaged me and she was freaking out. She's like, "Dad's sick. He might have pneumonia." And I'm camping and don't have service, and I'm getting these little blips of messages, and I'm instantly and just like, oh God, do I need to like pack up and do something? What do I need to do? And just fear.
Right.
I just feel this fear that something's going to happen and he's just going to be gone and I'm not going to be there.
Right. And I'm sensing that there's something about intuition that's coming up for you. First, I totally hear the vulnerability and the fear, but what are you sensing? There's something here besides just the loss, or that's leading you to the loss.
Yeah. Yeah, I think my intuition, my gut's just telling me that like there's limited time, that time is running out, and it's hard for me to know if that time is I'm creating that time or if it's real. I like he's a
fear making it this limited time thing.
Yeah. It just, because of course I want to tell myself like, stop it, that's not real. Like everything's gonna be okay, and just be open to what is gonna happen is gonna happen. And but at the same time, he has CLL and he's had it for 24 years, and he just gets, it's like his lymph nodes inflamed and things that just can happen. I mean, it's a very delicate disease that really is just attacking his body. And there, he's on the chemo pill and all of that to help suppress it, but it's never going to go away. Like it's not gone. And so I just worry that time is limited. I mean, it is. All time is limited. Everybody's time is limited.
But because of his condition and the environment of COVID, he's feeling fragile.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you're feeling because of this fragility that that the clock is ticking.
Yes. Yes. And I want to be there. I
Mm-hmm.
want to be near him. And it's just kind of weird how now suddenly my life feels like maybe it's time to sacrifice the things that I want to do right this minute, and where I want to live so that I can be closer to him and be able to see him. You know, if the pandemic's going to continue, I mean, maybe I need to be in a place where I can uh, be able to quarantine and then drive to his house without stopping anywhere on the way and be able to see him and in a safe way. And
Right.
that feels like a really real situation for me right now.
Right. So you're feeling the pull, and I'm getting to the how. You're already like, I'm feeling lost. I'm feeling this fragility. So let's back up just one step and go with, what do you want around this situation? Just kind of the function of it, and we'll get to the form.
I want to feel like I had enough time with him.
Mm-hmm.
Like I want to feel like I was there and I had this, like I felt like we wrapped it up. Like even if like something happened and he passed in a month, like I want to know that we had just a few hours together. Just like I don't want something to happen right now where I haven't seen him in a year.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and I didn't get a hug. And I want to feel fulfilled in having just some more tender moments with him.
Mm-hmm.
And I think a lot of this like anxious feeling for me of this intuition that the end is coming at some point, just stems from like how I lost my mother, and because she tragically died, and I didn't get that. I didn't get that
Right.
goodbye. I didn't get the hug. I didn't get the last words, you know, the I
Right.
love you goodbye. It was just gone.
Right.
And
So understandable, right? That's
yeah,
the trauma that happened. So when something is not in your control, and yet you know that he's fragile, that, oh my God, I cannot relive this trauma.
yeah,
And so
absolutely.
what I'm hearing in terms of the function is, you don't want regrets
Yeah,
and things left unsaid. You want deep connection, and you want tender moments.
yeah,
When I say
yeah.
that, where does it hit you?
Whew, right in like the bottom of my heart. It just like a heavy chunk just kind of sunk into my tummy. Um,
So kind of like the solar
yeah,
plex area.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
exactly. Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
And yeah, it's funny because I reflect on like how I've always been really independent in doing my life, and he's been the same way. And now suddenly all of that feels different. Like suddenly I'm like, okay, here I come. I'm ready. I'm just going to drop my life in Colorado, and I'm coming out, and we're just going to do this, like whatever it takes. And just, I don't want to, I want to make sure that everything feels buttoned up for me.
Right.
And yeah,
And what do you get, April, when everything's buttoned up?
peace,
Peace.
like I can just let go.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to be in this situation where I'm like, God damn it, I should have done this. I
Right.
should have done that. I should have just went when I thought I was going to, instead of being selfish and staying and doing all my own things. And I, I, I just feel like I know that my future self will be happier when I have satisfied this like pull to be in loving connection with him.
Right. And you're feeling the pull right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
So with
it
that
feels
knowing, go ahead.
sensitive. I was just saying that pool feels really sensitive. You know, it's very like, very present
Mm-hmm.
constantly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like there is this tapping that says, and that's your intuition. That's what I'm going to claim is your intuition saying,
Yeah. Yeah.
here's something. Pay attention.
Yeah.
Pay attention.
Right. Right.
So knowing that,
Yeah.
we can now go to the form. So what form do you
Mm.
want this to take? To have that experience?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think it's a relocation.
Mm.
I really think it's like I want to be like physically there with him.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see another way to have it the way like I envision how I want to feel, except moving closer and, you know, maybe not like next door to him, but someplace that can satisfy my lifestyle needs, but that I can get to him quickly. Like
Mm.
that would make me feel comfortable. Like even if it's a 5 or 6 hour drive, that
Yeah, that's what I was
that's
wondering. It's like, what does
yeah,
relocation mean? Is it?
yeah, yeah. I mean, like to a place where I can still have the lifestyle that I enjoy, which is like being in the woods and being near skiing and having access to my friends, and not feeling like I have to like live next door to him or with
Mhm.
him. I just want to be able to like go see him or he can come visit me without getting on an airplane. So that, you know, like I could just quarantine and hop in the car and go to his house. He could do the same thing and come to my house, and we could hang out and we could just have a beer and giggle and do things that we do and talk about politics and just enjoy each other's company and cry about stuff, and that's just what we do, and it's really fulfilling, and it feels good to do that. And then that's, I feel that just imagining that scenario like already makes me feel lighter.
Yes, I could feel you going there because it's so specific, not specific in terms of this house with, 2 bedrooms, whatever, but specific
Right.
enough that I can get there. I'm still living my lifestyle. He can come to me, I can come to him. We get to have this tender moments and this connection that I want. So as you're
Yeah,
saying it and I know you're visualizing it, how's that feel?
it feels real. Like it feels like I can do that. I mean,
Mhm.
it feels like something that is within reach for me, for sure. And like a little bit nervous. Like I just started feeling really nervous because it's also a big deal to do that. But at
Right.
the same time, it feels comfortable in knowing that I could be there. Like I could be in his arms in whatever, 5 or 6 hours. That feels good. That feels
Yeah.
really comforting.
So if you were to say on a scale from 1 to 10, like, I want this, I really see this happening. And as you described it, being within 5 hours, having this particular scenario, this form, what what number would you rate it?
9.2 just came up.
Oh, okay. So now go
9.2.
go
Wow.
back to your solar plexus. Like maybe even put your hands on your solar, right below your heart, above your belly. And let me ask this question. How soon do you want this to happen?
Less than 6 months.
Mm.
Yeah.
anything else coming there to you?
Yeah, just the idea of 6 months just like came up very tender because he had just said to me today that he was like worried about a um, melanoma flare up that usually gives you 6 months.
Mm,
And so I don't know if that's real or not. It's just something that came up for him that could happen. And so, yeah, I need to be there before 6 months. Yeah, definitely.
breathe. Let's just settle into this for just a moment. Now, how does that feel?
I feel like I could sit and breathe about this for a while. I just, it's a lot. It's a lot to
Yeah, it's a
process.
lifestyle change.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think what's comforting about it is like, this is what I want. And I have a lot of life to still do all these other things. It's just a short time blip in my life to offer myself and my heart and my connection with my dad. And that means more than anything to me right now,
Right.
to have that with him.
9.2.
I know.
Yeah.
Whew. Yeah.
What clarity you have. And you don't feel
Yeah.
wobbly. You don't feel like you're, it feels solid.
It does. Yeah. And I think like this isn't like the first time this has come up. Like I feel like I've sort of had this marinating in my intuition for maybe a couple years, really. Like I didn't notice it so much, but it just has like, I think the pandemic really ignited it, like really lit the fire in this feeling for me, because it was like the option of hopping on a plane was suddenly taken away.
Right.
Because I always have been like, okay, I'm going to change my job so I have more freedom as as a coach. And so I could just leave Denver and fly to my dad and be there for 2 weeks, but I could still work, like I wouldn't have to take off. And that was always the plan. But now it's changed. Like this really has changed it, because I can't just do that now. And so it feels like, okay, well, it feels like now's the time to make this shift, and this is the way it has to be done.
Yeah. I just heard it. Now's the time.
Mm-hmm.
So not to push you, but to walk gently towards that.
Yeah.
What's the next step?
I guess talking with my partner and what that looks like for him, and then deciding a location that would be ideal for both of us in our lives. And yeah, and then I mean, as far as like work goes, I already have my coaching business going, and so I'm already, I already like created the steps of being location neutral so that I can do this.
Right.
And so that feels really wonderful. And yeah, I think it's just deciding on a place and a date and making it happen.
Wow, you just went boom, boom.
Yeah,
because we were just talking about having a conversation with your partner, then finding a location. Now we're going to like deciding where we're moving and the date. Wow.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm inviting you to have the conversation with your partner.
Yeah.
I want you to do this step by step because you're being so conscious of this. And yay for the clarity of what your heart it wants and what you want,
Yeah.
truly.
Yeah. Yeah. It feels really good to feel that clarity and like just be comfortable with it. Like I feel like a year ago I wouldn't be feeling this way, but right now it just feels like the clouds have parted and this is the direction of the
I feel
journey
like
now.
even in just this call, you got even more clear and solid
Yeah.
in it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Bravo.
Yeah.
Well done.
Thank you. Yeah.
Okay, well, I know I'll be in touch with you, so I'll know
Yeah.
when you talk to your partner and how that goes.
Yeah.
For now, let's one takeaway and one word that describes you in this moment.
I think my takeaway is, gosh, there's so many, but I think my takeaway is that I'm just proud of myself. I'm proud of myself for even entertaining such a huge decision, and like embracing it with courage.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes. I think that's the theme for the day, courage.
Yeah. Courage. Yeah.
And what is
And I
your
think
word
my
for this
word is clear.
moment? Clear.
Clear.
Beautiful.
Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you so much. I'm
Yeah.
glad that
Thank you.
we got to do this. I'm glad that
Yeah.
you're clear. And here
Yeah,
you
me
go
too.
on to the
Yeah.
next chapter.
Yeah. Whew. I know. That's great.
Okay,
Thank you so
sweetie, I'm going to
much.
change you back into
Okay.
the attendee status, and I'm going to bring Carrie back in.
Okay.
Carrie, there she is.
Well done. Yay.
Thank you.
I mean, who knew that was going to be the topic?
I know.
And
Well, that's part of what I love about coaching, and just being able to be totally present with somebody in this moment,
Mhm.
and having the space to just explore,
Yeah. Yeah. And it's
because
amazing.
anything could have happened.
Exactly. And that's I love that you use that word explore, because that's what coaching is. It's an exploration
Mhm.
of life in this moment, and the gift that clarity is.
Yeah.
It's really striking. We were talking about courage earlier, and
Mhm.
she's making a very courageous decision and choice.
Which
Yeah.
is the truth for her. So allowing ourselves to find what's true for us, what we really want,
Yes.
and then allowing ourselves to have permission to do that.
Yeah. Well, what was so fun about it too was you started with function, how she wants to feel, and then the clarity just zipped in,
Right?
It was
We
almost
get
like
so
she'd already thought it through, but she really hadn't. She thought it through with you on this call, and it all just came to her.
which is so amazing.
It is.
And I know even for me, when left to my own devices, sometimes I'm always thinking about, well, what are the options and how? And then I get all caught up in what's the right way, and do I really want to do this? And I don't know. But when we get to the function, that what is it we're really going for?
Yeah.
Then everything else just kind of falls into place.
It really does. And it's like, it's magic.
True. I mean, it felt like, oh, are we coaching?
Yeah. No, exactly. So thank you for working with April and helping her get clear. Is there anything else that we want to say to folks by way of wrapping up the show today?
Well, we still have 3 days, today and the next 2 days, where we're scheduling free coaching sessions for our free coaching campaign for the rest of this month. So if you are interested in having a coaching session with one of our coaches, you just go to our website, thecancerjourney.com, and all you need to do is contact us. Then, I mean, you qualify for the free coaching. And we also have a Panic to Powerful workshop that's done online on August 11th. I believe
Yes.
it's
I
I
don't know.
can't remember the time, but it is there on our website, as well as how to register for that. And then we have our fundamentals program, which is our 12-week training program that starts on September 9th and goes for 12 weeks. And there's still spaces for that. So all of that information is on our website, thecancerjourney.com.
Wonderful.
Anything else?
Not for me.
Okay.
So let us
So
just
for now,
remind you that you're more powerful than you realize.
thank you for joining us. We'll see you again next week, where we'll be interviewing Carrie and what brought her to this place in her life. All right. Thank you, everyone, for being with us, and we'll see you next week. Bye for now.
Bye for now.